Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Road to Plate. I'm Guy.
And I'm Boz. And today we are at Domaine du Daley.
Fantastic. We're going to meet up with Cyril. Cyril is the vigneron and owner of the winery. So he's actually going to take us a trip through the establishment. So we're going to go into the cellar door. We're going to go into the barrel room. We're also going to go into the original part of the establishment, the original cellar, which was built many moons ago, when 13 something,
in the 14th century sometime.
It's
yes,
a fair while back anyway.
Yeah.
So in the caves. So we've got a really enjoyable day planned. Hope you enjoy it. Look forward to showing you a lot more.
Every day to the vineyard. I think, you know, we always start with the Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, which are the grape which are the most quickly matured,
Yes.
and ready to pick up and needs freshness for the wine.
Yep.
So we are this is always the first grape we're picking. Chardonnay.
So what level are you aiming at for the Chardonnay? What percentage?
The alcohol level should be 13 to 13 and a half.
Yeah, okay, so
For the
it's the same.
Chardonnay, for the Pinot, same.
Yes. Okay.
More than 13 and a half, the Pinot is too much on the alcohol and you lose the fruit.
Yep.
And the freshness is more important. We have also fresh climate, we're in altitude with the mountain. The winery is here approximately 500 meters up of sea level.
Yep.
And we do fresh wines. And we need to work on this sense.
Yep.
And that's why we start always Chardonnay Pinot at the first. And then we go on the whites, like the Chasselas grape, Sauvignon Blanc in the middle, and I don't like to have too young Sauvignon Blanc. Like there's a lot of Sauvignon Blanc in the world which are a little bit, for me, not in a good balance. And you have this kind of strong aromas which are not enough matured.
Passion fruit?
This is going to something matured, but before, when you have this kind of more grapefruit of cat pea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And I don't think they have the climate is important for the Sauvignon Blanc. It's really important. Here some years we get really stunning one, and some years it's just like missing because it's going too much to the cold.
Yep.
And it stopped working, and then you have this kind of more vegetation, cat pea coming back. Green.
Yeah. But you'd be
Should be matured,
Yeah.
but keeping acidity. Not too much over matured, not too much alcohol. But having Sauvignon Blanc for me should be 13 and a half, 14 maximum.
So you're,
But you need
for me,
matured.
your main area, I mean, because of where you are and the altitude and the climate, the Chardonnay and Pinot Noir would be your...
These are the two best
Yeah.
grapes we
There we
do.
go. Yep.
We do white wine of Pinot, but we do some Merlot, Cabernet and Syrah.
That's
But
amazing.
they are on the lakeside, and we take it 1 month after the Chardonnay.
A little bit warmer? Change of
It's
aspect?
on the lakeside, so it's down. There's a lot of difference. Down on the lake is 370 meters up of sea level, and on the top it's nearly 600.
Yeah, quite a difference.
So you can have a little difference. And Merlot, Cabernet, Syrah on the lakeside, on the east part, it's maybe 1 week before the vegetation is coming out, so it's a little bit earlier maturation than this region here. But I'm surprised that every year, even in a really bad vintage, we can taste down if you want, even really bad vintage, the wine is still something very interesting.
Okay.
And you need to work long aging to have the structure coming.
And the soil structure is different, obviously, from down
Everywhere.
below.
On the lakeside, it's more sandy, light grounds. Then more you get up on the hill, you get like some limestone directly on the stone. Even sometimes you have like 50 centimeters of ground and then directly the stone.
So that
So
would
the
be,
roots
that
go
would
on
be
the
good for
stone.
the red. But with the limestone influence?
For me, for the red wine, I prefer a fat, heavy soil,
Okay.
but with some mineral and calc and something fat soil. Then for the whites, being on the stone is more interesting. developing the nerve of the white wine.
Yeah.
For red wine, I'm working more on the freshness, the fruit.
Yep.
So when you are directly on the stone, you make more burnt red wine. I want to work the freshness and the fruit expression. So I prefer to have them on some complex soil, but not directly on the stone.
Black soil?
No, complex.
Yeah.
It's I don't know the name in English. Clay mixture, clay.
Clay. Okay. Volcanic?
No, we don't have volcanic here.
No.
We don't have the volcanoes
No
here
black.
around.
Well, that's the black.
You're talking
not
about
here.
charcoal.
So more.
It's more like it's heavy soil. You know, you can take the ground and mix it. You
Mix
can
it.
even make a statue with it.
Yeah,
This
so it
kind
is
of
clay.
soil.
Yeah,
it's
Clay
clay,
and
yeah.
heavy
Yep. Yep.
and more complex soil,
Yep.
mixing different minerals.
Yeah.
But not a light one. If you go on the lakeside there, for example, where it's flat, it's
Yeah.
sandy, it's light. You don't do any
Yeah,
wine
yeah.
there. You
Yeah.
should take out the vineyard.
Yeah. Okay.
You do there here in the pants when you have some special soil. The ground is more heavy, it's getting some lime, some stone, different kind of minerals which are giving some complexity to the
Yeah.
wine, even more to a Pinot or Chasselas or Chardonnay, which are very more lighter grape and have an impact. More light is the grape, more impact you have of the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's why this region is interesting to work.
And you're hand picking?
Yeah,
Everything's
of course,
hand-picked.
everything is hand. The only thing we do with the machine is cutting the grass in the middle.
Yep.
So we are partly organic in the winery, not 100%. We are like 80% organic.
What about trimming prior to harvest? Any machines? Or
No, no,
hand?
no, no, no.
Everything's hand.
Hand.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
We are a jewelry country. Like the yellow one, very small one.
Yeah. Okay.
To come entire, to not be crushed. When they come, we weight them first to have the kilos of production for each area. And then, so the red wine, they fall down in these tanks for making the fermentation. So for harvest, we freeze the room here about 6-7 degrees, so the wine doesn't start fermenting immediately. And like this, we take a cold extraction, making softly. The grapes are entire, and the juice get out softly. And being freezing, it doesn't start fermenting immediately. We keep them for 1 week, 2 weeks, like this.
Okay.
Then start fermenting softly, naturally. And we do half and half. We let them start naturally, natural yeast, and we add selective yeast from the same grape. Okay. To be safe. But we had really few, but I prefer. And then when we finish the fermentations, we have the barrel cellar on the floor, so we can just open this little trap, pass the pipe directly to the barrel. We fill up the barrel. So everything is by gravity.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
So we are working with different origin of barrels. For the red wine, we have two manufacturers. One is Quintessence from Bordeaux. We're working well the soft tannins and the impact of the aromas, very interesting on these ones. And for the structure, we work better is with the Tonnerie d'Aquitaine. And these are different kind of woods, but usually from central France. For the red wines, we use long, medium burn to have some toasted impact, but not too much. And for the whites, we use light, only light, to not have toasted taste, to have really the fruit expression.
Yeah.
So this is all 217, and we have the 16, the barrels, like I was telling you, we do exchange.
Yes.
So these are these ones from here. So next month we will do an exchange. Beginning of February, we will exchange there for the.
So it's amazing. I mean, you're lucky if you're in France. Australia, when we're doing the winemaking, obviously we've got to come to France
Yes.
to get the oak.
Correct.
To get that great oak. I mean, you can't make this style of wine using American oak. You know, it's got that too much sort of coconut influence kicking through. So, I mean, in Australia, we're using the French oak.
Yeah.
I mean, great vineyards, and the changeover's so quick. So, obviously, in Australia, we'd probably run the barrels a lot longer, but in
Yes.
France, the turnover's a lot quicker. They can
Yeah.
utilize that
Yeah.
very quickly.
Yep.
This is very new. It's 17, so it's starting aging.
Yeah, it is new. Last year. It's got a good nose, a very fruity nose.
But the Chardonnay, this is only new oak. Or maybe one of second year, but I think only new. Chardonnay, I look for this impact. I call this, the Chardonnay, I call it a little bit like the prostitute grape. It needs a lot of perfume to be interesting. If you make it in steel tanks, you make an easy wine drinking, but you don't have any
You're going to
emotion.
put that on the barrel. That'd be good there. Prostitute. You're under it now. You have to.
Let's jump in.
The jumping
Ready?
wine.
You need first to turn a little bit. When it's turning, then you first turn, you stop. Small
Oh,
one.
and then, not professional. Not professional.
So these are the old vintage wine. These are the oldest bottle, 1950, 1952.
Wow.
So this oldest vintage we have. From the winery. So we don't have the old one from the church. So the church which was owning the winery that established the winery in 1392. They built the first cellar, 1397, and they owned the winery till 1937. But we don't have any wine from the monks. They took everything. So we have wines only. The oldest wine we had was 47. So it was my uncle birth year. So we offer him this bottle, and then the other ones are from 50 only.
Okay.
After the war.
So all your bottles are dated on the caps? No, on the top of the cork.
Not all.
Not all.
Not all. In the past they were not. So the last ones no.
2011.
These are the really old ones. It's not something. No, 66, still good. It was going flat and dead.
So what year was this?
We did 92, 94, 95, 96.
When was this? When did you do this?
4 years ago.
4
5
years
years
ago.
ago.
Okay.
I wanted to understand the difference screw top and cork about the aging. And then it was really interesting to compare these two ways, and at the end of the day the cork wines were getting open and really, they were much used to maybe small
Developing.
oxidation, so they were a little bit more oxidated because of the cork and there's some exchange. Then the screw top, but the structure, and
Gone.
after hours of more it was open for hours, better it was going, and then the screw top was opposite, getting flattened down.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, it was really interesting meeting Cyril.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really passionate about the wines that he produces. You know, you look at the vineyard, he's really interested in the different types of soil structure. So each wine comes from a different part of the vineyard. So whether it's down low, whether it's up high, whether it's got grey loam,
Yes.
or whether it's sandy or more limestone influence.
Yeah.
And that impacts on where he actually puts that wine,
Yeah.
what oak cask that goes in.
And I think also, rather than producing a lot of quantity or volume per se, I think he's very much focused on more on the quality, the really, really high standard.
Yeah.
And for him, really being so meticulous of exactly when to pick the right wine.
Well, I mean, the thing is, none of it's mechanised.
Correct.
It's all
Yes.
hand-picked. So, you know, when he's bringing up the grapes from harvest, they're bringing them up in small little tubs by the hand.
Yes, correct.
You know, so it's no machine transport or
Correct.
transfer or harvest gear going down there. It's everything's done by hand.
Yes.
So it can't be en masse. And apart from that, we're talking only 15 hectares, so it's quite a small area that he has. So
Yes.
he's producing a maximum of around about 6,000 bottles, I think he said to us.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot.
No,
but he's
definitely.
producing a wide variety of styles.
What is it's around 16 of, I think from what I gather, 16 different type of wines.
Look, I can't remember what he exactly said, but it's a massive range that he's
Yes.
got in the
Yes.
cellar door.
Yes.
So, but I mean, interesting techniques that he's utilising. So he's really doing everything naturally. So gravity has a big part to play, not only in the vineyard,
yes,
but also when they bring the grapes up to be processed. He's got a 3-tiered operation.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
grapes get poured in, they get crushed, and then the grape juice goes into barrels. It's all gravity
Yes.
orientated.
Yes.
So nothing's mechanised that way. So it's really quite interesting, the operation. And like you said, he's really passionate about the way he produces the wine. It's all about touch and care. So
Very
he's
much
got that
so.
influence on everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, very interesting today.
What do you think makes this place unique? As such, in terms of, is it the region? Is it the type of climate? Is it the sort of maybe very limited volume?
I think it's all of those things. I think what's really interesting is the actual topography. And so when you're looking at the vineyard, you know, you've got Lake Geneva down there.
Yes.
So you're down to
Yeah.
300 odd metres.
Yes.
Then up here we're over
Close to-
500.
I think over 600.
Yeah. So you're looking at quite a variation, and from that you're looking at different structures as
Correct.
well. Not only in soil, but how the wine
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
actually made.
Correct.
So that's quite interesting within itself. So I think that all adds to the characteristics of this vineyard.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's just. I think the experience, even going to the wine barrel room, just lovely and warm. I think, and the smell that you get just just walking along the barrels and the wines. I think very particular. And for me, from my perspective, I was pretty much blown away. Looking from the side, which is wow, this is quite amazing. So,
Well, it's original style. Then
correct.
he's not. Look, they're very passionate about doing what was done in the past.
Correct.
They're not interested in this new twist top caps.
Correct.
You know, he wants to use the cork.
Correct.
You know, he says that gives more flavour. He's not worried about the cork disintegrating or changing the complexity of the wine. Or he did a test. He told us. So he popped open some corkscrews. He had the twist tops
Correct.
as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And he said the difference was massive between the two.
And
So-
even from a longevity.
Yes. Well, they
So
weren't
that was-
holding. His view was that
Yeah.
the twist caps were not holding. So when he did the cork, once you let that release,
Yeah.
that had length and body to it,
Yeah.
whereas the caps after an hour, it was dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, interesting point of view. So
Yes.
you talk to a lot of vignerons in Australia, they'll say the complete opposite.
They will. So, we hope that while you watch this video, you'll find it quite interesting, fascinating. I do try. Actually, I would suggest coming here and checking out this region around the winery. I mean, it's just quite spectacular, as I mentioned right at the beginning. Any final comments from your side?
Look, I think it's a fantastic area.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The scenery is quite interesting. What I'm finding is the terraces are quite interesting with the vineyards. They've got vineyards placed in quite unusual areas. So even if you're driving on the road,
Correct.
they'll have 2 metres of vineyard planted on a trellis. So it's quite steep here if you look at it. So I mean, there's no way you could use any mechanisation on these terraces.
Yeah.
So look, it's a lovely area if you ever get the chance to come to Switzerland. It's a must-do, tick on the list. But if you can't, watch the video, and at least you'll have some insight into what what is around this area.
Correct. Yes.
But I guess what we should say is we are Road to Plate.
And
Boaz
and Guy, and hope make sure you subscribe.
Yep. Look forward to showing you the next video.
That should be interesting.